Studios Gaming here. Welcome back to World of Tanks, although not World of Tanks as you normally see it. This is World of Tanks Classic. So basically what Wargaming did was they brought World of Tanks Classic back, or well, they made World of Tanks Classic a limited time event. I believe I read it's supposed to last about a month or two. And you can tell this by if I go to extend premium here. Basically, you can buy premium with the gold that they give. So they give you increasing gold and free XP each and every day. So then eventually you will be able, but I think you have to be logging in every day, and it starts out lower if you haven't logged in yet. So if you want to try Classic out, I recommend doing it. Even if you aren't too sure about it, I would recommend playing it. I've been playing it more. Actually, I haven't even touched modern. I guess modern World of Tanks is the correct terminology. I haven't even touched it since Classic mode came out and I downloaded it. It's only 2 gigabytes. It's not even that big. And as you can tell here, you can buy up to a month of premium. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't buy gold. And you can't buy premium tanks. So any gold that you spend is gold that they've given to you, and you're not going to be able to keep it anyways, so I'd recommend. So what I would do is I would get a premium tank, probably like a tier 5 premium tank. I got Panzer II Jade because like people on the stream wanted me to wreck people. And so I bought a SU-85I, and I've been using this along with my maxed out T29 and T32 every now and then when I died in a battle, to just free XP my way to T30, and that's what we'll be playing today in this video. So first off, I think we should go the whole shebang. We'll put some camouflage on here. There's only like one camouflage or whatever. We'll put it on there for permanent. So there we go. We got some camouflage on there. We got our 100% crew. We're going to leave accelerated crew training off just because I want to be able to get more XP that I can exchange. The exchange rate is 1 gold for like 50 XP, so it's not bad. So anyways, this is actually going to be my first battle in the T30 between both live server and even classic server. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work out. I'm assuming it's a bit like an E100, and I played the E100 like once 3 years ago. I did horrible, but you know, I think it's kind of a bit more like a T29, or actually no, more like the premium T34. You know, decent reload time. By decent reload time, I mean like relatively long reload time, but it hits hard for its tier. And the T30 hits hard. This was, you know, this thing has the highest alpha damage of tier 10 heavy tanks. Hold on a second. Gotta turn this down. I forgot to turn down my volume. Okay. So, there we go. I'm gonna go... Ooh, should I go over here? Yeah. So, classic server... Yeah, I guess I'll call it the classic server. Classic server, what's so special about it? Basically, this is how the game was back in 7.0. It's kind of like Wargaming's April Fool's thing. I wonder if they'll do something else specifically for April Fools, or if this is just it, because this is going to be a 2-month long event. That's pretty dang long. But yeah, I'm not sure. Not 110% sure. So we'll see what happens with that. But honestly, it's not bad. Now, I wouldn't say that I'd prefer this. I wouldn't say that I'd prefer this one over modern World Tanks. I'd say that there's some... Okay, so there's some aspects of classic, and there's some aspects of modern. Basically, like a mix, you know? Not 100% all the way, but somewhat. That would be like, you know, saying, oh man, I love this update, but like nothing has ever been good. No, well that's just completely untruthful. Because there have been good things in updates, you know, that we've had, like physics, graphics. Graphics were tremendously amazing. Tremendous update that everybody loved. Everybody loved the new graphics. The problem is the gameplay has kind of, you know, devolved. And I don't think it's too bad. I don't think, well, not the modern gameplay. Modern gameplay is pretty trash. But, like, I don't think this is too bad, you know? Having to fight tier 9s in my tier 6 heavy tank. Honestly, it's not that bad because there's other tier 6 heavy tanks. Generally, when a tank is top tier, for example, right here, I am the only tier 10 in this match. But there's like 10 tier 8s and tier 6s and whatever. The tier 6s aren't even like tanks, they're artillery. The light tanks are tier 5, which light tanks did used to have special matchmaking to where they'd be like that. But, like, you know, it's not too horrible. It's not really going to affect them. I mean, a light tank is a spotter. Even when we had, like, tier 8 was the top for a light tank, it was a spotter. So it's like, who cares? Anything that was gonna anything that can pen you in that tier doesn't matter, because like everything in your tier would pen you like nothing too. And then even then the HP was balanced, so that doesn't really matter. I guess that artillery got one shot off before he actually died, which kind of sucks because I think he did quite a bit of damage to me, but that's no problem because, you know, I'm playing a T30. Let's be honest. Woo! Wait, what is my alpha? I could have sworn my alpha is 750. 750. But look at that penetration. See, this is probably the best tier 10 tank ever. Ah, I say as I low roll. See, the armor isn't bad. So let's talk about T30. Armor, it's not that great. Gun, it's amazing. But like, I literally have tier 7 armor. This is the tier 7 T29 hull, which means theoretically tier 5s, you know, considering nowadays matchmaking, tier 5s get matched up with tier 7s. You'd expect that a tier 5, which most can, could pen the hull of a T29. And they generally can because the lower plate is relatively weak. Okay, so this is a win. How are we looking on the time for this? 7 minutes, yeah, we'll do another round. So, but like, you know, the armor isn't that great. Turret is impenetrable, but T29 turret's impenetrable. I mean, granted, T29 is pretty OP for a tier 7, but like, look at the hull. 102. If you saw 102 millimeters of hull armor on any tier 10 heavy tank in nowadays WoT, you would be like, what are you doing, Wargaming? This is absolutely ridiculous. How dare you put this tank with 102 millimeters of hull armor? Now, granted, if you angle this 102 millimeters, you can bounce some tier 8s and some tier 6s. That's why the T29 can fight tier 8s and tier 6s. Because if you play it right, you can angle. And, of course, that will even work for tier 10s because the side scraping is OP in general. But, like, you just think of it like that. Side scrape. You side scrape, you're impervious. You hold down, you're impervious. And artillery would balance me for that, too. Like, it did, you know. I think it took off like 1,000 HP. But it is nice having 2,200 HP. Which is, like, I think the 3rd highest. I mean, there's only 4, so it's not saying much, but, you know, that's good enough. Yeah, that's basically, you know, that's the thing. Wow, that guy actually maxed out his T34. He probably has a T30. But, yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know. I don't think it's that bad. Classic, you know, back then, it wasn't too horrible. It actually was... See, from a gameplay perspective, the balance is, you would think, at the surface level, the balance is absolutely ridiculous. But then when you're playing it, it's like, as a Chaffee, when I got into a tier 9 battle, tier 5 light tank, I didn't really fight the tier 9s, I could pen them in the side, because their side armor wasn't, you know, BS. Even the IS-3 I could pen in the side. You know, it's not a V-shaped hull or whatever. Cough, cough, cough. Watch, this guy's dead. But like, you know, when I was playing it, I was going. There was one tier 9, you know, one maybe two tier 9s. Granted, you are going to sometimes get into a battle where it's like all tier 10s and one tier 5, but that's so rare because there's just so many people playing, and that's the thing too. Back then, this was a brand new game. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, this game is so awesome," and honestly it is because it's just tanks. And I think that's the cool thing too about like the sounds. They're just loud. They're just loud booms. Sure, I mean some of it doesn't sound very historically accurate, but neither does the pew pews that you hear from like 76 millimeters. Those are the most unrealistic sounds ever. If you watch any video of a Easy 8 Sherman firing its 76 millimeter gun, that is loud. Like really loud. I think that would be nice, you know. And honestly, you know, just playing this game back in 2011, it's a brand new game. You're just like, man, these booms are amazing, so powerful. My tank is so strong. Ha 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 ha. You know, stuff like that. It's fun. That's really what matters. And then like, there's also the skill aspect of the game. What the heck? How did that miss? Okay. There's still an RNG aspect of the game. Obviously, some of the physics and stuff, it's slightly annoying, but like it doesn't take away from the fun. That's the thing. Oh crap! It's a 30. Ah, it went underneath him. Okay, so I died there. That sucks. But you know what? We'll go back to the garage. So I basically only have whatchamacallits here. This is American heavy tanks. But yeah, yeah, so let's look at this. Let's look at this. How does it change between the tiers? T32, alright, T34, same exact tank. Granted, I don't have the top turret. Is the top turret any different? Top turret is the exact same thing. Actually, no, it's okay. It's got 203 millimeters of rear turret armor. Oh, boo-hoo! That's the only thing that it's 100 millimeters more on the rear of the turret. Okay, but the side's still 127. Still pen the side. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Hull still the same. T32. The T32 has the most armor on this entire line, and it's the tier 8. It's the tier 8. And then tier 7. Oh, what's this? Oh, only it's 102 again. Oh, it's 102 again. Of course, this part is pretty weak. It's like 80 or something, I believe. Maybe 102. But like, it's flat. Doesn't matter, you know, man. Because like, it's just so it's weak. It's easy to pen. Every single tank in here that I've met, that I've seen within the tiers, is relatively easy to pen. The only thing that I'm having problem with is the server lag. That's it. Server lag, and of course, you know, the more modern thing with vertical stabilization, or no, not vertical, horizontal stabilization whilst you're in sniper mode. Those are the only things. Literally the only things that are problematic, you know. Other than that, and I guess the graphics could be better. If you improve the graphics and the physics engine, and then this was like another game, I'd probably play this game, honestly, because it's fun. It's fun. The statistics, I mean, you don't really get much. I do like my statistics because it's just fun. I do have a 65% win rate on here, so yeah. Yikes. I guess that means I'm pretty good. Does it show any damage? It doesn't say any damage, it just has XP. So yeah. But I think they kinda went a little bit too far back. I did watch Quickie Baby's videos where he was speaking about how it's how it's like whatchamacallit. How they're like kinda trying to show us, do you really want it to be like this? And I think they missed the mark. They missed the point. I don't think that 7.0 was the actual peak of World of Tanks. Maybe it was for players, but in terms of gameplay and fun, I think the peak was about, I forgot what it was, like 8.5 or somewhere around there, 8.5 to like 9.0. Some I may be getting this wrong, but when they had artillery, the tier 6 artilleries had, like, you know, AP. We had French vehicles, so let's say yeah, I forgot when it was, but like you could probably look. I think it was like 2016 or something like that. Those were okay, but like a little bit before then, 2015. 2015 was the year. Whatever game version that was in 2015 was probably the best for World of Tanks in general. You had lots of diverse tanks. The balance was okay enough, and you just had so much diversity with all the different tanks. And artillery, you know, it one-shot you, but like, you know, Clicky Baby makes a point. You miss, and it does almost nothing. You don't have to worry about it. That's for me, that's one of the most annoying things about artillery nowadays. So if you're playing artillery nowadays and you suck at aiming, like you're all your jittery hands, click. They're right here, but you just click, and then it splashes right here because it missed because you're so inaccurate. But then it stuns me for 13 seconds, and my crew's 30% worse. 30% is a massive, massive nerf to a vehicle. That is absolutely massive. 30% nerf is about the same nerf that you get on a crew that you would get if that crew was injured. That's how ridiculous that is. And if I already have a crew member injured, like my driver, that means my driving, my mobility at least, is 60% worse for 13 seconds. That is ridiculous, you know? That's crazy. And let's talk about commander. Commander's the big thing too. So if I have a commander that has I have a commander, but my view. So when a commander gets injured, you lose half your view range. Half of your view range. Thing with stun, it's really strange. So like if I have 500 plus meters view range, it doesn't take 30% off of the 500 really. It takes 30% off of my view from when it was at 445, which is kind of a buff. But like then, so it effectively it takes off 30% from where you're at, not like your total. So if my commander gets injured, I lose half my view range. I have 500 meters view range. I now have 250. Then minus 30% of that for 13 seconds minimum. If they directly hit you, that's like 25 to 30 seconds. That's ridiculous. You practically can't see anybody because remember, camera rating negates stuff like that. Like it makes you have to get closer within your own view range to spot them. So like that basically limits you to proxy range, which is ridiculous. And that's what I think. I think artillery back then, or I guess now too, because it's classic, it's being played right now. It kind of requires more skill. You have to make sure you're on the move because tracers are. I don't know why Wargaming nerfed tracers like that. Tracers should be like a huge thing, even now, because artillery can still one-shot each other. I think that should be a huge thing, because when there's no artillery, it is so much fun. You get to brawl. If your team has artillery and the enemy team's artillery is dead, so not like, you know, they have an extra tank and you have an artillery, but like your artillery managed to kill their artillery, or they lose artillery early on, you get the advantage. Your team gets the advantage. And I think artillery should be, you know, encouraged to do counter battery. And they should be encouraged to move. which means, you know, they're not staying there. So like if you have a fast firing artillery, for example, my if I fire and my tracer is so obvious, I gotta move. I mean, I'm slow, so it's gonna be kind of hard. But like I gotta move, which would effectively nerf my DPM, which is basically ridiculous. And that's not even a direct nerf to the left, you know, it's just a nerf to artillery in general. M44, 16-second reload, easy nerf. Oh, tracers are ridiculously, like, easy to see, like, now. Like, well, with back then, with, like, classic. They're pretty easy to see. And especially with the new optimizations, it'd be even more easier to see on computers. So, you see the tracer, even though you got a 16-second reload, you gotta be moving. Otherwise, you're gonna die before your 16 seconds reloaded, or you'll get one more shot off and then die. You know? So I think that's what Wargaming should do. Anyways, this video is getting pretty long. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like or comment, let me know. If you have any feedback, comments, whatever, I read every comment. I might not respond to every comment. I mean, some comments, it's just how you respond to that. But like, if you have like a question or whatever, I'll respond to you in the comment section. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. We're getting so very close to that wonderful 100 subs. When I get there, it will be amazing. And yeah, with that being said, Biz Gaming here. Peace out.